Hi, it's Coach Andrea here. How are you? I am fine. A quick one. How is your gratitude measurement? How is your gratitude measure? How is your gratitude meter? Are you a grateful person? Or are you that kind of a person who's constantly complaining? Do you know that it is said that gratitude is a magnet for miracles? How many times have you felt like you were in a funk and you allowed yourself to remain in the funk, and before you know it, you can't get yourself out of the funk? I'll share a story. This morning, I took my son to school, and it so happened that the routine is that I get him off his chair, he stands next to me, and I take his bag. But now, today, he was very, very active and excited, and he started running around the car. And while I was trying to get him to calm down, then he ran to the road, and there was this Range Rover coming. And behind the Range Rover was a Mac and another car. And I've got a bad knee. I had my knee while I was performing at a theater in 2011. So every once in a while, the knee locks. So I'm partially disabled. And there I was watching my son going to the road, and I can't run fast enough. You know those little people, they run, eh? Like they can run. They run. And I'm looking at him, and this monster beast of a car is coming, and it's red. And I'm thinking, red for danger. There's my child running, and I'm trying to catch up with him. I can't because he is so fast. And he was going into the road. Thank goodness it's next to his school. So by grace, the cars were not going too fast, but they were fast, but not too fast. So the Range Rover actually managed to swerve, and it stopped just as I caught him. But now there was the other car that while the Range Rover swerved, the Mac was coming, but it also managed because the Range Rover hit its brakes, and also it started hooting. And I was all shades of apologetic. I'm sorry. And at that moment, when it stopped, I was just about to throw myself onto it rather than him hitting it. And I'm like, rather I take. But still, I don't think I would have made it. He would have gotten there before me. And afterwards, I've got all these thoughts going through my mind, these cars looking at me like I'm a careless mother. And I pulled my child, I put him next to the road, and I don't like putting my hand on my child. But at that moment, my instinct was to hit him on the arm, so that he can register pain the next time he thinks of doing that. And that struck me so deeply. Anyway, so then I take him to the school. Another teacher comes, and this another one gets off the taxi, and I tell them what happened. Then it hit me. At that moment, my goodness, I could have lost my child. My child could have been hurt. Me being hurt is nothing. My child could have been hurt. And all these thoughts that are coming in my mind, and I'm beating myself about it. And then the teacher took him, his class teacher, fortunately was at the gate, took him, and he went. And I remembered later, then now I start beating myself up for not hugging him before I handed him over, because it was that process. Then I'm in such a funk, and I'm crying, and I'm sitting in the car, and the class teacher comes, and she's calming me down. And then I remember that I'm human, and it's okay to allow the processes to go through so that you can quickly get out of it. Because if you internalize things, then you end up blocking your own healing process. Then I passed the garage, I bought something sweet, and I ate it. And then I got home, And when I was still deciding to be in a funk, it hit me. It could have been worse. And at that moment, images flash him, his body hitting against the car. Of course, this is my mind now fast forwarding what could have happened and what did not happen. And me falling and grazing my knees and the car hitting my head and, you know, all those things. Then I start playing all of these scenarios in my head and I snapped out of it. At that moment, I had to snap out of it because I realized that it could have been worse. And I sent my sister a message telling her, and her immediate response was, "Oh, I know you're a mess. You're crying wherever you are." And I said yes, and I sent her a picture of my face, a mess. Then she said she's going to call me after her meeting. And then 3 minutes later, I sent her another picture. I'm smiling. I'm like, I just realized it could have been worse. It could have been worse. I have to be grateful. I have no choice but to be grateful, because if I then remain in the funk, it means that I am not grateful that the worst did not happen. So I'm doing this video to remind you to be grateful and to ask you, when last were you grateful? When last did you say it could have been worse? When last did you look at your situation and circumstances and said, it could have been worse? I have no choice but to get out of the funk. Even if your mind is still clouded, your judgment is still clouded, but you know, your heart reminds you that it's beating hard, that it's beating healthy. It could have been worse. So the next time you go through something, just remind yourself it could have been worse and be grateful. My name is Coach Andrea Dondala. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. There is tons and tons and tons of videos there that you can learn from. As well, follow my Facebook page, Coach Andrea Dondala. Stay beautiful, stay blessed, stay grateful. Remember, it could have been worse.